It's your man, Chris Gotrock.
What's up, my family? It's Maliki and Sweet Senorita.
It's your boy, Dirty Germa. This is All Mills from the Critics. I just finished my interview at C.O.O.L Radio, and I'm just letting you guys know that you guys need to tune in every Thursday at 8 p.m. because this place is wild.
Of course! Don't touch that dial.
You miss your diss, you understand? Keep it locked.
Yes, yo. Welcome to the show. You're now tuned into CFRE 91.9 FM. It's your man, DM C.O.O.L. And you're now tuned into C.O.O.L Radio.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody!
That's right. Your ass better call somebody indeed and let them know that we are live, direct, and effect on the air right now. And speaking of calling, actually, we have our first calling guest of the night. Now, in case if you guys don't know, this weekend is a huge weekend in hip-hop as we have the 9th annual Battle of the Beatmakers competition going down this weekend in Toronto, and here on the line is the leader, the founder, the owner of the Sound Supremacy movement, and also the company that created Battle of the Beatmakers. Ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Clifton Powell. Clifton, how you doing, man? Clifton,
Hello?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, man, loud and clear.
All right.
How you doing, bro?
Good, man. Good.
All right, man. So I know you're really excited for this weekend. It's the 9th annual 9th annual Battle of the Beatmakers competition.
Right.
When you started this 9 years earlier, what did you have envisioned for it?
Wow. 9 years ago, well, it was a lot different. I mean, the whole game changed so much since then. I mean, for producers, there was nothing for producers at the time. So it was basically like there was no market, no showcase, no outlet, nothing for producers to really showcase and get their self known.
Mm-hmm.
So it was basically carving a path for something that just didn't exist. There was no like foundation for it. There was no like path for it. There was no formula for it. It's like we just had to figure it out all on our own.
Mm-hmm.
And it was basically just to try to create something that producers can get the same shine that the rappers get, that the DJs get, that the other people involved with hip hop get.
Absolutely. And we often talk about the struggle that artists have, within Toronto specifically, but we always kind of tend to forget about the producers because they're always in the background and stuff like that.
Right.
So, pardon me, I feel like a vehicle like Battle of the Beatmakers, for example, is a great way for producers to expose what they do behind the boards and beyond the boards, so to speak.
Exactly.
So, moving on now, how much evolution have you seen take place from when it started up until now?
Well, it's crazy. I mean, it's hard to even put that. It's like for a producer at that time, it was like to get a song with maybe Socrates, maybe Cardinal, Point Blank. I'm just giving some names of the artists in Toronto that were buzzing at the time.
Absolutely.
And that was like the highlight. Like if you got a track with one of them, that was saying something. That was good for your resume, so to speak. So now to move forward and get to the point where you can get a track with Minaj, Rick Ross, Jay-Z and all that, it's just a whole different ball game. So that's where we started at, where it was just a matter of let's try to get these guys popular, at least in the local Toronto scene. And then we'll go to Canada, and then we can go overseas. But it's like fast forward to now, it's like it's worldwide. You go to a club and you can hear like maybe 10 tracks easy from Toronto producers. Easy.
Absolutely, man. It's all about expansion is what I'm saying. And
Right.
It's great to know that, the whole world is listening to what the city has to offer, not only in terms of artists, but in terms of producers as well, too.
Right.
Now, in this competition, only 32 make the final cut. So how many producers do you have auditioning for this competition?
Upwards of 200.
Oh,
and it's not Toronto. We have, for this current battle, we had as far as Japan, we have Harlem, we have New Jersey, Vancouver. 2010, my winner came from Amsterdam. So it's been and even since 2005, we had dudes coming up from Florida, even the first year. So it's always been like that. Like it's not a matter of Toronto always trying to run to the States. We have them running to us now.
Absolutely.
So just to show you how the game shifted, because historically Toronto always looked up to the U.S. and still do, but for the most part, it was always like, well, you're not going to make it in Toronto, so move to the States.
Yeah.
But it's different now. You have artists coming up here. I remember in 2011, like some artists on Maybach Music we brought up, they were more eager to just get to know T-Minus and Boy Wonder than anything else. Like I'm bringing them up to do a show, and they're only worried about, can you hook me up with Boy Wonder, T-Minus? They're trying to get the beat from them. So that just shows you the whole dynamic, how the game changed. Like 10 years ago, that would never be the case. There was no U.S. artist running to Canada to work with anybody.
Exactly.
But now, everybody wants to work with Drake. Everybody wants to work with Boy Wonder. One of the hottest songs of the summer was 0 to 100, Boy Wonder beat. You know what I mean? So this just shows you how to, and I mean, that song was everywhere. BET Award, you had Murder Mook on it. I mean, you had everybody on that beat. So it just shows you how the game changed from us wanting to the States trying to be like them to them now coming and trying to get a piece of our sound and our style.
Absolutely. And the craziest thing about it is that song wasn't even on an album. It wasn't even an official single.
Right.
It was more like a freebie. Like, here you go. Feast on this until I got something for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. So with so many diverse styles of production, how do you go about, or how do the judges rather go about choosing a winner?
That's why I stay out of the judging and get others to do it. That's the hard part. That's honestly the difficult part. And this year is very different because traditionally, I mean, when we started, it was more like an East Coast sound. Like most of the producers coming with that East Coast sound.
Yeah.
As it got to like 2009, 2010, 2011, it started to change more to the South and the trap sound.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to mix it up. So you got some of the East Coast, like C.O.O.L, who's obviously East Coast. And then you have Sunny Digital, Metro Boomin, who are more like the Southern trap sound.
Yeah.
So it's just a mix, because even for producers, like 90% of them in the early days were all East Coast boom bap.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, 90% of them are trap. So we try to get judges to kind of find that balance between both.
Exactly, and it's a good mixture because you don't want it to sound way too monotonous and almost sound as if you're hearing one long beat or anything of the sort.
Right.
Exactly. So I can get mad at diversity. And I mentioned the judges earlier. How do you go about selecting the judges for the competition? Do they come to you, or do you guys go out to them?
Usually we go to them. It's just to try to find a match for what we're looking for. Like, as I said, somebody who represents that East Coast kind of sound, someone who represents the younger cats. For the whole weekend, we got 4, actually. So it's Joel Ortiz, Slaughterhouse, Metro Boomin, Sunny Digital, who produced Drake's or Isla McConan's last song, latest song on Tuesday. We also got the Heatmakers, known for the Dipset sound.
Yeah.
So it's basically covering the 2000s, it covers the 2010s, it's basically all different genres of kind and different time periods in hip hop.
Yeah.
Because you got the older heads that come out that are from that Dipset era. Then you obviously got the young trap heads, and then you got that East Coast boom bap heads. So something to kind of appeal to everybody.
Exactly, yeah. Just a little bit of everything, just to give it a nice even mix, basically. Kind of like a Smarties package, right?
Right.
Exactly. Now, we were talking during the commercial break, and one of the matches that intrigued me the most, and it was like my first time watching the event. I saw the first round matchup between the eventual winner, Wonder Girl, and then her challenger, Francis Got Heat. And many would argue that stole the show. I would definitely argue that in my opinion. I remember they ran through like 3 or 4 beats each before they could choose a winner. Even Trix was kind of getting a little bit impatient. Like, we got to choose somebody.
It's not the first time it happened.
I'm sure. First time I've seen that, though, just because it was my first time seeing the competition. But, with a dazzling display like that, like, how enriching is it for you to see, that talented crop of producers to either just take part of the competition and to just do bigger and better things in their future endeavors?
Well, the funny thing is, people have lost and gone on to do crazy things. Like, I'll give you an example. Even before that battle, like, Boy Wonder himself was in a battle with a guy named Arthur MacArthur.
Yes.
And some people might lean towards saying Arthur won. Some people say Boy Wonder won. But at the time, Wonder was the more popular one, obviously. So to even be facing such a challenge, people were kind of like, well, who is this kid, MacArthur, Yeah. And then, long story short, they went on to produce a track on Drake's first CD called Uptown with Bun B on it. So just to show you that someone who we might have said lost actually still went on and done big things with it. So it's not a matter of always just winning the battle, because there's people that lost and they've still done crazy work and still got a crazy resume. Bird and Keys is one.
Yes.
Oh man, the list can go on. Gigs, T Minus, like all these guys, although they're known, they have lost in battles too.
Absolutely.
But they still gone on to do crazy things.
Yep.
Duke De Niro, Rick Notes. I mean, the list can go on and on.
Absolutely, man. It's almost like American Idol. You don't necessarily have to win the competition to do big things. Totally get you on that. Now, apart from the beat making contest, what other events are happening that weekend?
Right. So tomorrow is a networking event. It's the meet and greet. It's basically where everybody can come out to meet the producers, the 32 producers that were selected.
Yeah.
We got people, as I said, flying in from Vancouver. We got guys. We got girls. We got teams. It's not all a male thing. Women that got that heat as well.
Yeah.
And they're flying in from all over. So tomorrow is when kind of like media, artists in the industry come out and kind of meet with the 32.
Yeah.
And we usually also pair up the first round of the 32. So when you go to the battle on Saturday, you'll see all the first round, everybody will be paired up the day before, the Friday.
Gotcha.
That's usually how we do it. So that's the Friday event. It's like a networking, beats meets rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday's the battle, and then Sunday's the conference.
Mm-hmm.
So basically you'll have live beat demonstrations, interviews, Q&As, panels, hear the story of these producers, the guest judges, how they got into production, tips and advice they have for up-and-coming producers, and things like that, little tricks in the trade.
Gotcha. Now, one final question before I let you go.
Right.
If you had to do an all-star edition of Battle of the Beatmakers,
right.
Name me at least three producers that come to mind that you would have take part in the competition.
Competing against each other?
Yes. Just three.
Wonder, T-minus. I mean, if you want it to be all-stars, I'd say the Wonder, Minus, and Wonder Girl. Those are the three most popular ones.
Yeah.
If I was to pick outside of that, it'd be tough. There's too many. I mean, we've been doing this for 9 years. If you times that by 32 people in the battle, you're talking like a couple hundred people. So there's so many people, and their styles are so different. Like some people who stuck to that boom bap sound, and then some people are strictly on the trap sound. So it's sometimes hard to even match them up because they're so different styles.
Absolutely.
And both can work. It's just a matter of which artist jumps on it.
Exactly. That's the key to it at the end of the day. As long as the artist
0 to 100 isn't your traditional southern trap kind of sound.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the hot thing right now. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to say. But off the top, I would say Wonder, T-minus, and Wonder Girl.
Gotcha. We're keeping it Toronto then, basically. We're keeping it Toronto.
Right.
I ain't mad at that, Playboy. Listen, man, thank you for calling so much. I have no doubt in my mind that the event is going to be a success yet again, and I'm definitely going to be there to check out all the festivities.
All right. Sounds good, man.
All right, man. Take care, man.
All right. Peace.
All righty. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, that was the man, the myth, the legend, Clifton Reddick, who is organizing the event, and it will be coming back to you guys for our 9th year in a row. Now, we got to get to a commercial break. When we get back, we have our second calling guest of the evening. He goes by the name of Matt Moore, up-and-coming comedian, and also he's creating his own show as well, too. So we'll ask him more about that. And before we go, I told y'all earlier in the week that for this month, we'll be doing a Throwback Thursday R&B edition for the month of November. And to ease y'all in, I'm going to play some tracks from today that are of the hip-hop and R&B variety. So this one comes by way of my man Danny Yo, and this one is called Eritrean Girl. So shout out to all the Eritreans in the house tonight, because this one's for you. Only on Cool Radio. Keep it locked. We'll be right back after these messages. Yeah. Welcome back to the show, people. You're now tuned into CFRE 91.9 FM. It's your man, DM Cool. You're now tuned into Cool Radio. Welcome back to the show, people. Once again, big shout out to my man, Clifton Reddick, for calling into the show to discuss the Battle of the Beatmakers competition going down this weekend in Toronto. But we're going to move from the beats to the funny, and I got one funny dude on the line right now who knows how to tear up the stage when he's doing his little comedy routine. He is also in the creation of his own web series coming very soon, and we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. Ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about the rude, the crude, Matt Moore. Matt, welcome to the show, man. How you doing? Matt, are you there? Are you there, Matt?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. How you doing, bro?
All right, I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing very good, man. You ready for this?
I am. Are you?
I'm trying to be, as long as you don't get me canceled. Yeah.
Well, that is the plan.
Okay, then. So then, viewer discretion is advised. I must say that. So I got to get down to the nitty gritty, man. When did you first start doing comedy?
So I started doing this back in maybe 2008. As a dare, basically. A friend of mine was hosting a show at an old folks home, and two of the performers dropped out. I was there just viewing them because I'd seen the guy do it before, and it was funny, so I figured out, whatever, what else am I doing on a Wednesday night? And, the guy comes up to me 5 minutes before the show starts and goes, "Hey, by the way, can you do 5 minutes?" And I was thinking, I'm like, yeah, okay, I can do 5 minutes. And I didn't actually realize where we were until I got on stage, and all my jokes were about death and stuff like this. Like there was a bunch of kind of bad things going on in the world at the time that I could kind of make fun of, and I completely forgot the fact that it was at an old folks home.
Oh boy!
And that was actually one of the first times that people walked out on me during a show. I offended a lot of old people.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you had them choking on their tapioca at the process.
It was gnarly.
All right, man. So speaking of which, man, that kind of ties into my next question. Comedians are known for basing their material on social commentary. Would you say that's the foundation of it?
Well, I would say that, I mean, for me at least, it's more so just what can I talk about that's relatable. I mean, there's nothing less funny than watching a guy talk for half an hour about something that you have absolutely no idea what's going on about.
Yeah.
So for me at least, I try and base it on what's going on in the news. Like if I'm doing a show, I'll generally, read the newspaper for the last week, figure out what's going on, what's kind of trending on social networks and stuff, and base stuff off that. Because everyone knows, Ebola is going around. Make a bunch of Ebola jokes. There's no point making a whole bunch of swine flu jokes because swine flu is not a thing anymore.
Yeah. So it's pretty much doing about what's current and stuff like that.
Basically, yeah.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, I feel like whenever I'm laughing, it's something that can be related to. So most of it is either something that's going on right now in the world or something that's at least relatable. You know what I mean? So whether it's a current event or it's just something that I've experienced myself, that's always the funniest.
Gotcha. Now, Chris Rock, one of the greatest comedians of all time. Yes. I put him in my top 5 personally. Yeah. He was criticized for going too far with his jokes on SNL last weekend.
Yep.
So he went in on the Boston Marathon and also the Freedom Tower as well too. So my question to you is, do you feel that there is a line that needs to be drawn?
I just want to clarify first off, I thought his opening monologue was absolutely hilarious.
Okay.
The Boston Marathon joke specifically, I mean, the Freedom Tower thing, whatever, like, whatever, go in the building, put a big target on it, like, that was kind of funny. But
that was pretty fun, I'm not gonna lie, man.
The Boston Marathon, that was the best part. It's like, we get to the end, and then they say, run! Like, that was probably one of the funniest opening monologues I've seen in a long time on SNL. The big issue I had with that one, just for the record, was the ISIS joke. I feel like he kind of missed the point, and it went on a little longer than it should have.
Yeah.
But as far as if there's a line, I mean, yeah, there's a line, but it depends on how you cross it. So you're allowed to cross the line depending on kind of how you do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, nothing is sacred anymore. You know what I mean? Like, once you've made the blonde joke, you should be able to make a joke about everything else. Because as soon as you start saying, you can't make fun of this, you can't make fun of that, then it's like, well, okay, if we can't make fun of this, then why can we make fun of that if this is not allowed? But at the same time, you have to do it tastefully.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I can make a tasteful joke about Ebola. I could also make a bad tasty joke about Ebola. You know what I mean? Like, it just kind of depends on what it is you're making fun of and how you do it. Because if you do it well and you cross you're allowed to cross the line as long as you kind of have to like tiptoe over it, or it's just absolutely could just go right through I apologize, go right through it. You know what I mean? You can't kind of pussyfoot around it. And because as soon as you start kind of like hemming and hawing about it, like a good example would be the Dane Cook joke about the Sandy Hook shooting, the Aurora theater shooting.
Yeah.
Where he goes, the movie was so bad, I kind of felt like 20 minutes in, I was kind of hoping someone came in and shot me in the face.
Yeah.
You could have made a better joke about that.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, yeah, it's a national tragedy. It was a bad thing that happened, but there were things that were kind of funny about it. You know what I mean? Like, you have to kind of look at the situation and go, oh, this is ridiculous, and then make a joke more on that than just say, oh, people died. Ha, 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 ha.
Exactly, yeah. So you can either go Michael Richards on it or Louis C.K. on it.
Exactly. That's a good example.
Exactly. All right. So moving on then, with you primarily, what are your jokes mainly based off of?
Myself, usually it's just kind of the ridiculousness of life.
Yes.
Like if I'm making a joke that works, which is rare, it's usually kind of just making fun of, this is a ridiculous situation that happened to me or that could happen to somebody else. I'm going to make fun of that instead of, big setup, big punchline, stuff like this. So for me, like, I'll make fun of current events, but it's more so, I don't know, like, I'll look at something, I'll go, yeah, this is funny, and then I'll talk about it. Mostly it's, do I find it funny?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of the way I go off it is. If it'll make me laugh, I'll tell a joke about it. Unfortunately, I've got a really weird, twisted sense of humor, and what makes me laugh makes 99% of the population go, Urgh.
Yeah, pretty much. Don't need to go too deep into detail with that, so we're going to keep it moving on.
All right.
All right. Yeah, so what do you think is one big misconception about comedians?
That we're all soulless.
Okay. Can you elaborate on that?
I think a big misconception as far as stand-up comedians is concerned is that it's kind of like we don't take anything seriously, which to a point is true because you have to take life not that seriously to find the humor in it.
Yeah.
Because if you take life a little too seriously, then you turn into Lena Dunham. But basically, there's, this is what's going on. You're obviously just gonna make a joke about it. And it's like, no, I actually take a lot of this stuff seriously. That's why I'm joking about it, is because it's a coping mechanism for me or for other people. And, I am affected by, current events. I'm affected by this. I'm affected by that. But I'm making a joke about it because I'm not taking it as seriously as some other people. Yeah. So instead of the, you're just this aloof stoner, or, you're doing nothing and, you don't care about anything. You have no morals or values or anything like that. It's like, no, I do. But, I can just make fun of them. That's the difference. As you can see kind of through, it's I guess, instead of comedians being nihilists, we're more absurdists.
Yes.
I guess would be the way to say it.
Fair enough. And one thing that I always notice when it comes to comedians is that they're either really good at stand-up or they're really good at doing TV and movies. It's rarely do you get the combination of both. So why do you think that some comedians, or most comedians, I would say, are really good at one thing, but they can't transition into the other thing?
Well, I would say it's the types of jokes that they have. I mean, you have some comedians that tell jokes and some comedians that tell stories. And I feel like the comedians that are telling the stories, they're better displayed on a kind of like TV series viewpoint, whereas it's kind of a skit. You know what I mean? You have these characters and you have these situations. It's kind of, it's better told in a 5-minute block than just, well, what's the deal about toothpaste kind of a situation.
Yeah.
Whereas you have the other, comedians that are just telling jokes and you can't really expand on the joke that much. Because there's nothing to really expand on. It's just, there it is. Here's your 45 seconds of dialogue, and now it's a joke.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, I happen to find, for example, like Dave Chappelle, like, his stand-up is okay, but his sketch comedy is amazing. Exactly. Whereas you have Chris Rock, his stand-up is absolutely dope, but then his sketch comedy, like, when he had his own series on HBO, for example, it was okay.
Yeah, everybody hates Chris, but I just hated the show.
No, everyone hates Chris is pretty dope, man. It was pretty dope.
Well, if you're into that sort of thing. I don't know, I'm middle class and white. I can really relate to that.
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying.
Fair enough, man. But no, I often happen to find that there's always a comedian, there's always like a group of comedians who are good at one thing, but then when they go to the other thing, it doesn't work out as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. And one final question, well, not final question, but like, final question before we get on to the next stuff, which I'll detail later on. Your new web series, like, what is that about?
Yes. So basically, I have a series of jokes that don't work on stage.
Okay.
And, friends of mine are always, coming up with bits like, oh, yeah, this is really funny. Like, they'll come up with it and say, oh, why don't you do this on stage? And I'm like, well, it doesn't really work on stage. It's more of a sketch. Like, it's more of a, here's, a woman getting hit by a car. This is why it's funny. And it's like, well, how do you explain that on stage? I'm not that good of a comedian, but I can write the scene and I can write the 5-minute thing with all the different characters and all that stuff. So this is basically all my, stupid bits that I couldn't do on stage because I'm either too bad or because I just didn't work, done on a show. So there's 2 shows actually that I'm in the process of making. One of them is called, it's MDMA. It's with me and
MDMA. I'm so
MDMA.
done right now.
Well, MDMA, because it's Matt, David, Matt are the writers, and then A because it's Canadian.
I'm so done about MDMA.
Well, it makes sense because it's, because of the pacing of the show, it's like you're on drugs, but, the writers are Matt, David, Matt, and it's Canadian, so A. So it's MDMA, I can't even take credit for that. I feel bad. That's probably the funniest thing I'm going to say today on the air, and it's not even mine.
I'm not even surprised. I should expect that from you. Oh my gosh. Fair enough. And so, like, are you currently in production for it right now?
Yeah, so we've written a bunch of sketches. We basically have a couple episodes written fully, and we've got a bunch of themes ready for the first season. And at this point, it's just a matter of getting off the computer, stop masturbating, and just start filming this stuff. Well, that's just what I do with my free time. And, one of the writers lives with me and one of the writers lives in Mississauga. So, collaborating with everybody, it's proven a little bit more difficult than we thought originally.
Yes.
But we've got a lot of material down. And as soon as someone just flips the switch in our motivation and says, okay, go, we have a couple episodes full. And each episode consists of, numerous sketches and stuff. So we have the material done. We have the stuff ready. And now it's time to just start pimping this stuff so that when you inevitably disappoint people, we're disappointing a lot of people instead of a small amount of people.
Gotcha.
And the other show that we're doing is with another couple buddies of mine. It's called Douchebags, which is basically the whole premise of the show is we were walking around a mall and having this conversation. My friend's like, yo, wouldn't it be a good idea if we film this and put this on the air? Because, he's a surfer guy.
Right.
That's what he actually sounds like. You've met him, Kirk.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
So basically, this show is we take just specific aspects of me and the two other writers, Kirk and Matthew Velez, and we kind of hypen them. So Kirk is, old. We make him very old in the show and really racist because he says racist shit sometimes, sorry. And we just take certain kind of idiosyncrasies of each character, blow them out of proportion, and film it kind of like one of those reality shows.
Okay.
So it's like a, what's Hart's show? Real House.
Oh, real.
So it's like a Real
Husband
Husband. Exactly. So it's done like a reality show, but it's fake and staged.
Okay. Oh, kind of like Kirby Enthusiasm, right?
Exactly. Kind of like Kirby Enthusiasm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. I think the people will be looking forward to that. Now, before we let you go, actually, we have a couple of games that we like to play with the guests. Get them warmed up, have some little fun, a little bit.
Cool.
And you've been on the show before, so you kind of know how this goes.
All right. I think I remember them.
Yeah. So the first game, actually, you have been on the show for about a year. Actually,
it's been actually 2 years. Last time I was on, it was when we were working together.
Okay, then. All right, then. So then, with that being said, the first game that I have for you is called Cleveland Dreamin'. All right. Boy. So now, a lot of people don't know this.
Cleveland, what?
Exactly.
Represent Tremont.
There you go. A lot of people don't know that you are from Cleveland.
I am.
So I'm gonna shout 4 things out to you, and I want you to give me your opinion on them. All right? They're all Cleveland related.
Go.
All right. So first thing.
All right.
Thoughts on the bus driver who gave the hood rat girl an uppercut?
Guy, he knocked the weave clean off that girl, yo. Guy, set that tumbleweave going.
Oh man. All right.
He should be a hero. We should have a national day in Cleveland for him. Where bus drivers get to do whatever the heck they want to people.
Okay. You think so? You think we should have that?
Well, Cleveland's a bad enough city as it is. What harm could it do?
Fair enough, man. All right, next one. LeBron James returning to Cleveland.
You know what? I was with everybody else in the city when we were, burning effigies and hating on the guy, but he's a phenomenal player, and we suck. So we'll take anything we can get, and he's now God in my book again. He's gone from King James to Judas to back to King James again. He's reclaimed his throne. We don't need no Gino Billy. We got James.
Fair enough. The Cleveland show being canceled.
The what?
My point exactly.
Oh, the Cleveland show.
Yes.
Oh, God. I forgot that thing. That was on the air still. I don't care. Seth MacFarlane sucks. I hate Family Guy.
Really? You of all people?
What, me of all people? You of all people like it?
Yeah?
Okay,
you know what? That's a topic for an whole other story.
Next question.
We don't have enough airtime for that one. And final point or question. No, this is actually a question I've always wanted to know for the longest time.
All right.
What in the hell is a Cleveland steamer?
It's when you poop on a girl's chest.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so done.
Or the girl poops on your chest.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay.
So Gian Gomeshi would know all about that.
Oh, my gosh. Jeez. This guy's really trying to get me canceled right now. Okay.
I apologize.
No, it's fine. All right. Well, that's not really fine, but they won't cancel me for that. Anyways, final game I have for you.
Yeah, what's that?
Final game I have for you, man. This one is a mainstay on the network. Everyone knows and loves this game. It's called I'd Quit the Game.
Every second, every minute, man, I swear that she can get it.
All right, so now you are living the bachelor life. You are the eligible bachelor. You are picking and choosing your women as you like. All right? But there comes a point in time, even in Matt Moore's life, that he's got to settle down, have some kids. In other words, he's got to quit the game.
Exactly.
If you were to quit the game for one of these two women that I have selected, who would you quit the game for? Would you quit the game for Jessica Simpson or Natalie Portman?
Are we talking Jessica Simpson like before she got really fat, or are we talking Natalie Portman in Garden State? Because Garden State, Natalie Portman, hands down, quit the game right now. Trade in my dick and balls.
Wow.
And just do that boring life. Natalie Portman, during her, feminazi short-haired kind of thing, then I'll deal with the heifer, because Jessica Simpson will cook and clean and keep her mouth shut. So I gotta, it's kind of a, which one do I get? You know what I mean?
You know what? I'll let you decide that on your own. Ladies and gentlemen, we oh my gosh. Matt Moore, thank you for calling on the show.
Appreciate you for having me. We're
definitely going to get you in the studio one of these days. And make sure you tell the people to keep on the lookout for your new web series.
I will. Everybody check it out. It's called Douchebags and MDMA. Keep a link on my Twitter. I'll eventually get it out there. It's me, Matty, with an I at the end of the two T's. Peace, I guess.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, Matt. We'll check back with you later on, all right?
Man, later.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the very rude and crude, to say the least, Matt Moore, upcoming comedian and scriptwriter. Like you said, or like you heard him say, he will be coming out with a new series very soon entitled douchebags and MDMA. I don't know where he comes up with this stuff. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back. We got some bills to pay, but before we go to the commercial break, we got to tell you what's coming up on the commercial break as far as songs go. This one comes by way of Vancouver rapper Sunreal, and going with the Throwback Thursday R&B theme that we're doing for the month of November. For tonight, we're going to play a steady line of R&B tunes to get y'all warmed up to it, all right? So this one is called Let Me Be Your Man. So keep it locked. We'll be right back after these messages. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. You're now tuned into CFRE 91.9 FM. It's your man, DM C.O.O.L. And you're now tuned into C.O.O.L Radio. Welcome back to the show, people. If you're just tuning in, we just had up-and-coming comedian Matt Moore calling to the show to discuss his upcoming web series and all that good stuff. But for now, you already know what time it is. It is time for Trip Talk, all right? So it's about 3 topics in 3 minutes. We'll see how many we can get to. But just so y'all know, this edition of Trip Talk, it's about to get heavy. It's about to get real heavy, all right? Now, I was looking through all the stories that are happening this week in hip-hop, and I basically gathered the ones that seemed as if it was going to be a long-winded, extended version of Wankster of the Week. Because, quite frankly, on any other given week, these 3 stories I'm about to mention, the people that are involved in them, well could have been Wankster of the Week on any other week. But I was even having a difficult time trying to decipher who exactly would be the Wankster of the Week, just because all 3 of these stories were so bad. But they all fit into Trip Talk nonetheless, and the Wankster of the Week this week is going to be a hectic one. It's going to put these ones to shame. But let's warm things up a little bit, all right? So, first topic on the docket is Tiny Harris. So for those who don't know who Tiny Harris is, that's the troll-looking woman who is married to rapper T.I., all right? Now, she made headlines today because she got surgery done, all right? Now, a lot of you people are probably thinking, hallelujah, somebody answered my prayers. This chick finally got plastic surgery. Okay, what did she get surgery done on? She got surgery done on her eyes. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, what, LASIK surgery just to correct her vision? No, not that kind of surgery. She got surgery to change her eye color. Yeah, that's right, her eye color. As if nothing on her face was bad enough already, she decided that the very important thing to change as far as her appearance goes is her eyes. She goes in and discusses the procedure and how it's done. In her words, and I quote, they go into the eye and they make a little slit. They take an implant and it's folded up. They open it and spread over your eye. They told me that the procedure was going to be quick, 5 to 10 minutes an eye. They woke me up. It was very blurry, but it kind of fades in. Now, she changed her eye color from brown to what they call ice gray. Now, I remember back in high school, girls used to put like all these different colored contacts into their eyes, and I didn't like it then. So why the hell would anyone like a girl, or anyone for that matter, who had retina surgery just to change the color of their eye? There are contacts for that. I don't see any point in doing it, especially when it's a type of surgery that could potentially make you go blind forever. There is a woman who got the exact same surgery as Tiny did, and she's blind. So I'm thinking to myself, why in the hell would this woman do this? I know she gets teased a lot, whatever. Trust me, I have been one to do a fair share of that teasing. I often say that half of her face looks as if it punched out of work a little too early. But with all that being said, you would think that plastic surgery on her face or a facelift or some Botox or whatever would be the first thing she would do if she's so, worried about what people are saying about her looks. But no, she changes her eye color permanently. There are contacts for that, like I just said before. So, T.I., check your wifey or your hobbits or your pets or whatever you want to call that thing. Anyways, next topic. Speaking of T.I., actually, let's keep things pimping with the King of the South. T.I. made headlines this week for defending fellow Southern rapper Young Thug. Now, in case you guys don't know who Young Thug is, I gave this gentleman Wankster of the Week a couple weeks ago for his comments regarding the Ferguson situation, in which he said how he's not here to talk about that. He'd rather talk about all the iced out jewelry that he got and the women while he was on the red carpet for the BET Hip Hop Awards. All right, that dude. Now, this guy is often criticized for mumbling in his rap and people for not understanding what he says in his raps all the time. So T.I. took the task to defend his fellow Southern cohort, and he said the following in an interview. In his defense, Sorry, mind you, and I quote, "In his defense, let me ask you, did you understand everything ODB was saying? You did. Y'all from Brooklyn. Did you understand everything Bone Thugs and Harmony was saying? Did your mama and daddy understand everything James Brown was saying? Your mama and daddy didn't understand what James Brown was saying. They just liked it." So basically, he's trying to compare Young Thug's situation to James Brown, Bone Thugs and Harmony, and ODB. Three of the most iconic figures in music history, okay? Now, I'll admit, ODB was a little hard to understand, but he was actually one of the more famed members of the legendary Wu-Tang Clan, and even had a positive message behind some of the songs and even some of the statements that he made off the microphone. Even his legendary 1998 Grammy Music speech, when he said Wu-Tang is for the kids, you can't get mad at that. And then you have Bone Thugs and Harmony, one of the greatest innovators in hip-hop, the ones who made the quick tongue style of rap pretty famous, and also the ones who brought singing and melodies and harmonies into rap. No, you couldn't understand what they said. You couldn't understand what they said the first time you listened to it, but the 6th, 7th time, of course you could, because you study it, you analyze it, and their music catalog lasts a lifetime. And then, of course, James Brown. Now, James Brown, he wasn't much of a lyricist, but he did have positive message within his lyrics and whatever he said. You can't go wrong with "Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud," right? He's talking about uplifting. I don't hear Young Thug doing any of those things. So while I understand what T.I. was trying to say, Young Thug does not hold a candle to any of those three gentlemen, or three acts rather, that he was trying to compare them to in terms of the situation. Because at the end of the day, when you dissect and decode their music, they had much more of a longer lasting image, or not image, but message in their music. Whereas this guy, he's a fly-by-night artist. He's here today, gone tomorrow. I guarantee you by next year, we will not hear another thing about this guy. He looks like the forbidden love child of Whoopi Goldberg and Lil Wayne. He looks like a Haitian shrunken up Creole voodoo doll, straight the hell up. He looks like I should be donating him 5 cents a day to UNICEF. He looks that ugly, that war-torn, and that torn up, all right? He looks like a child rebel soldier who made his way to America and just went to a tattoo parlor and said, "Yo, ink me up." That's what he looks like. And finally, on Trip Talk, Chris Brown. Now, this one I really wanted to give Wankster of the Week to, because this guy went out of line. So what happened earlier this week was there is a show called The Flow, all right? And the hosts of that show are Adrienne Bailon, who is a former member of the Cheetah Girls, and then Tamar Braxton, the sister of acclaimed singer Toni Braxton. Now, they were basically talking about matters that involved Chris Brown and his girlfriend, Carici Tran. Now, basically, the episode, I believe, was about infidelity, and then they used Chris Brown as an example about people who cheat and still continue on with the relationship. And they're basically trying to say that Carici Tran is aware of the cheating, but she's still staying with the man regardless, thus showing how weak of a character that she has. Now, basically, one of the things that she said was she probably doesn't want to break up with the man because of the lifestyle that she's providing, or that he's providing, and the lifestyle that her friends see that he is providing. Now, they made those comments and other comments alike, and Chris obviously caught wind of this, and he said the following, and I quote, "Bring that ass here, boy, Adrienne Bailon. Your old trout, sorry, I'm trying to read all the expletives, mind you. Your old trout mouth ass biatch. You tried it. Won't you the same, I swear to God, I'm reading it as you see it along. Won't you the same biatch that was effing with married men? You also was keeping up with the Kardashians. You can't talk about relationship goals when you don't have any life goals. Ain't you a cheetah girl? Last time you was important something was riding spinners and wearing 6X tall tees. You the same biatch having threesomes like the rest of these hoes. You tried to marry Tamar Braxton. You take the role of the ugly sister. It's always the people with no career that talk all the shit. That plastic surgery effed up your face. Biatch look like she always say, huh? Muppet face ass. Hashtag basic biatch problems. Hashtag though Tiana's I don't even need a photo for Tamar. That biatch is beat in every photo. Hashtag I can make a broke biatch rich, but don't F with broke biatches. I swear to God, I read it exactly as is. You cannot make that up. I swear to God. Now, Carucci has something to say as well, too, but we do not have enough time to run through that. So I will give you the rebuttal of what I think Tamar Braxton, yes, this is what Tamar Braxton said in response to that. Hashtag, when your girl hashtags talk shows instead of crying about you while on one, you are asked to talk about certain things such as A, relationships, B, family, C, fashion, D, things that has to do with her in life. No one came at either of you, but was simply using your relationship as an example of things us ladies go through in a relationship. I do not know, nor do I give a hot damn about your relationship personally. Honestly and respectfully, I'm very sorry if you both were offended about our girl chat. However, you will not think it's okay to come at grown women and talk to either myself or Adrian Bailon as if you ever had us each in your bed at any point in our lives. Maybe your mind is clouded. Note to self, you're not my man, my daddy, so you got me completely effed up, like your reputation. I'm not 20 years nothing old, and I am fine with all 3 number 1 TV shows and making my dreams come true with Love and War, shameless plug, of course. And now, hashtag let me know, which is on iTunes. It just goes on and on and on from there. I could digress, but basically you guys get the point. Chris Brown was being asked about the situation, as he always is when it comes to a public situation, and sometimes that guy just needs to be checked. So that's all I got to say about that matter. It's pretty self-explanatory based on the quotes. Brown was out of line. Yes, he is talking about you, but who hasn't talked about you? You are a public figure. You are a megastar. People are going to be talking about you regardless. How you handle the situation is what defines your character at the end of the day. And Chris Brown, as always, is showing people that this guy has not grown up. He's still going that downward spiral, and somebody needs to put his ass to check, straight up. I can't even be mad at Tamar Braxton for, dishing back at him. Rightfully so. She had every right to do that. Same with Adrian. So that's Chris Brown for you. Carucci, that's your problem. By the way, Carucci sounds like the hidden Pokemon that never really made the cut. They're doing the draw-ups, and they're just saying, nah, Carucci, nah, we'll save that for Digimon. How about that? That's all I'm saying about that. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to lighten the mood up a little bit. It's time to get a little old school with it. It's time for Throwback Thursday. Yeah, that's right, people. Let me know what you want to hear on a weekly basis when it comes to our Throwback Thursday track of the day, all right? Now, as I put out the blast earlier this week, I said that for the month of November, we are going to be playing straight R&B tunes, all right? So please send me your suggestions for what R&B songs that you would like to hear throughout the month of November, and I will try my best to accommodate all of you guys. But make no mistake about it, they will all be classics. I promise you that. And this one is a classic. I don't care what anyone says, all right? This one comes by way of summer 2001, all right? This track was huge, huge, I tell you. It features 2 big stars in the hip-hop and R&B industry at that time. I'm talking about none other than Ja Rule and Jennifer Lopez, all right? When this song came out, everyone was blasting it through their car windows, through their backyards, at all the family cookouts, everything, all right? Now, this song right here, oh, man, this song right here is called I'm Real, and we're about to play that right now. So after we come back from the break, of course, it's going to be Wanks of the Week. But for now, enjoy some good tunes. Keep it locked. We'll be right back after these messages.
It's your man, Chris Godrock.
What's up, my family? It's Maliki and Sweet Senorita.
It's your boy, Dirty Girl. This is All Mails from the Critics. I just finished my interview at C.O.O.L Radio, and I'm just letting you guys know that you guys need to tune in every Thursday at 8 p.m. because this place is wild.
Of course! Don't touch that dial.
You miss your diss, you understand? Keep it locked.
Yes, yo. Welcome back to the show. You're now tuned into CFRE Radio 91.9 FM. It's your man, DM C.O.O.L. You're now tuned into C.O.O.L Radio. Once again, that was Ja Rule featuring Jennifer Lopez. I'm Real for the Throwback Thursday track of the day. Admit y'all love that track back in the day. I know all the dudes out here be like, oh, Ja Rule soft. Nah. You're bumping that back when you're in grade 7, grade 8, at your swimming pool parties and all that good stuff, man. That was my track right there. And I'm not afraid to admit that I had that album, Pain is Love. I haven't bumped it in a minute, but I feel like I'm going to do it one of these days once again. But anyways, enough about that. enough of the past. Let's get to the present. It's time for the moment that you guys have been patiently waiting for. I'm talking about Wankster of the Week, so let's drop that real quick. All right, so like I told y'all, this week was full of Wanksters so much that we had to place them into Trip Talk. But the ultimate Wankster this week, oh my gosh, this is a run-in for Wankster of the Year, ladies and gentlemen. Excusez-moi. Wankster of the Week goes to former Mad TV comedian and current stand-up comedian Artie Lange. Okay, now usually we keep the Wanksters within the hip-hop R&B category, but this one was so much of a Wankster that it transcends that. All right, now he is the Wankster of the Week for this reason. There is a sports show. You guys know I'm about sports. There is a sports show out in the net called ESPN's First Take on ESPN, of course, and it features the likes of Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, and the moderator of the show, Cari Champion. Now, Cari Champion is a beautiful African American woman. All right, I don't know why I had trouble with that. Anyways, very beautiful woman. She's on the show. She has her fair share of fans, but then she has her fair share of critics as well too. Now, Artie Lange, him being one of her admirers, apparently so, making it known, decided to troll her and basically send out a barrage of tweets. At first, they kind of border on appropriate and inappropriate, and then they just kind of take like a wrong turn for the worse afterwards, okay? So the first tweet that he sent out to Cari Champion was the following, and I quote, "The chick on ESPN's First Take is so effing hot." All right, it's pretty moderate. I'm sure she gets a whole bunch of tweets like those on a regular basis. Not saying it's right, but it's not out of the ordinary. Then he goes on, and I quote, "Trying to maintain erection and jerk off to chick on First Take, but they keep cutting back to Stephen A. Smith and the white guy. Frustrating." Okay, it's getting a little perverted now. So he continues on, and ladies and gentlemen, listener discretion is advised at this point in time. He continues on. "I want the chick on First Take to laugh at my white dick." Okay, and he keeps going on. "Here's a scenario I'm using to jerk off to First Take. I'm T. Jefferson and she's my slave. She beats the shit out of me and runs free." Now we're bordering on, sexual abuse and racism, talking about her being a slave. Then I come and she's free. The happiest ending ever. Ladies and gentlemen, it keeps going on. He continues. "Then as reparations, I make Skip Bayless my slave." Okay, so now he's trying to bring the comedic part back in about making a white guy a slave, and he's the white guy, so I guess that's so ironic or whatever, but it's not working. He continues on. This is a goddamn miniseries. He continues on. "Hey, Cari Champion, let's me and you get busy." He continues on. "I attempt to whip Cari Champion because she disrespected the Jefferson plantation, but she grabs the whip and beats me. I come like a fat founding father." He continues on, and this is probably one of the worst ones that he says in his little tirade. "After 8 illegitimate kids together, Cari Champion and I marry at the Knights Columbus in Linden, New Jersey. Problem with that, F off." So he just goes in and in. Like, there's about 20 tweets that he says. And he's basically trying to, play damage control because now people are getting upset and people are asking that this guy, suffer some sort of repercussions. So later on, ESPN announced that this comedian is now banned from ESPN in all shapes and sizes. So basically, that's what he did this week. Now, trolling can be a fun thing to do when you're on the net because now we're in the age of social media, but there are limits to this. This is where you go too far. Myself and Matt were talking about this earlier on the show. There has to be a line to be drawn because now this is like, not only are you sexually harassing the woman, this is now borderline like racism. This is cyberbullying. This is all things in one, and it's not a good look. So I have nothing more further to say that this is just a washed-up comedian looking to basically trying to make his name famous again. I suppose stand-up comedianism isn't working for him. Maybe he needs to be an extra on Matt's show. Maybe he just needs to hang up the mic for good because since Matt TV, it's been a long way since then, and there's no
foreseeable future of him getting any work anytime soon. So with that being said, he's getting the Wankster of the week. Does he deserve this Wankster? Of course, because he's nothing but a wanker. Literally and figuratively speaking. So with that being said, let's drop that on him real quick. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to end this week's broadcast. Next week, we have internet blogger Casey B. She will be coming in the studio to talk about her latest blog. She blogs about relationships, all sorts of types of relationships, from friendly relationships to work relationships, even romantic relationships as well. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of all that stuff and a whole lot more. Y'all can reach me, as always, at DM_cool on Twitter, or you can hit up the show at cool_radio. Also, like the Facebook fan page at Cool Radio, and then you can hit me up on Instagram at Cool for Thought. So the number 4 and then Thought. So with that being said, once again, it's your man DM Cool. And coming up next, we got the Swig only on CFRE Radio. So with that being said, we are out of here. Peace. Oh, and keep it gravy and wavy. Take care, y'all. Peace. Cool.